February 11th, 1917, 0542 hours. William Radcliffe sat behind the wheel of a modified Thornycroft J-Type lorry on the Great North Road near Grantham, Lincolnshire, watching 14 inches of fresh snow bury what was supposed to be Britain's main supply route to the industrial north. Temperature, -12 Celsius. Wind speed, 28 miles per hour. Visibility through the pre-dawn blizzard, perhaps 30 yards. Standard procedure said wait for the snow to stop. Send gangs of men with shovels. Clear the road by hand, the way it had been done for centuries. Radcliffe started the engine. In the next 18 hours, this 52-year-old county surveyor would attempt something nobody had tried before. Clearing a major British road using a motorized vehicle. He'd pioneer techniques that didn't exist. Battle mechanical failures in sub-zero temperatures, and prove that the internal combustion engine could do what muscle and shovel couldn't. Keep Britain's roads open during wartime winter. This is the story of Britain's first motorized snowplow operation, and the stubborn engineer who refused to accept that snow meant surrender. The problem nobody could solve. Winter 1917 was brutal. The Great War had been grinding through its third year. Britain's economy was strained. Food supplies were tight. Coal shipments were critical. Everything moved by road and rail. Then the snow came. The blizzard that hit England in early February 1917 was the worst in 15 years. Snow fell continuously for 4 days across the Midlands and North. Accumulations reached 18 inches in exposed areas. Drifts exceeded 6 feet where wind could build them. The roads closed, all of them. Rail lines could be kept operational, steam locomotives could push through moderate snow. But roads required manual labour, gangs of men with shovels. Slow, expensive, exhausting work. And there weren't enough men. Conscription had taken the able-bodied. The men who would normally clear roads were in France, digging trenches, not ditches. William Radcliffe saw the mathematics. Lincolnshire County Council employed perhaps 200 road workers. The county had 847 miles of major roads, 14 inches of snow across 847 miles, thousands of man-hours to clear by hand. The numbers didn't work. They needed another approach. Radcliffe had an idea. A mad one, by 1917 standards. Use a lorry. The contraption. The Thornycroft J-Type wasn't designed for snow clearing. It was a chain-driven goods lorry, 4-cylinder petrol engine, solid rubber tyres, maximum speed, maybe 12 miles per hour on good roads, built to haul supplies, not clear snow. Radcliffe modified it in 3 days. First, the plough. He couldn't buy one. Motorized snowplows didn't exist in Britain in 1917. So he built one. Welded steel sheets from a decommissioned railway wagon into a crude V-shape. Angle, approximately 45 degrees. Width, 7 feet. Heavy. Brutal. Functional. He bolted it to the lorry's front chassis. The mounting was improvised. The angle wasn't adjustable, but it would push snow. Probably. Second, traction. Solid rubber tyres on ice was suicide. Radcliffe wrapped chains around the rear wheels. Not purpose-built snow chains, those didn't exist either. Just regular heavy-duty iron chains from the county workshop. Crude. But they bit into ice. Third, weight. The Thornycroft was too light to push heavy snow effectively. Radcliffe loaded the rear bed with sandbags, approximately 800 pounds, enough to press the drive wheels down, enough to provide traction. The result looked insane. A goods lorry with a makeshift steel plough, chains on the wheels and half a ton of sandbags in back. Nobody had seen anything like it. Radcliffe tested it in the county yard on February 10th. The lorry moved. The plough pushed snow. Sort of. The chains provided traction. Mostly. The engine struggled with the load but didn't quit. Good enough. February 11th, before dawn, Radcliffe drove his contraption to the Great North Road. He'd attempt to clear the route from Grantham to Newark, approximately 16 miles. If he succeeded, supplies could move again. If he failed, well, failure meant back to shovels. The first mile. The Great North Road, at 0542 hours, dark, empty, buried. Radcliffe could barely see the road edges. He navigated by memory, knew the route from years of surveying, knew where the curves were, where the rises were, where the ditches waited to swallow vehicles that wandered offline. He engaged the Thornycroft's transmission. The engine noise changed. The lorry lurched forward. The plough blade met snow. Initial resistance. Massive. The lorry bogged down immediately. The V-plow was pushing snow sideways, but the accumulation was too deep. The lorry couldn't generate enough force to keep moving. Radcliffe backed up. Tried again with more speed. The Thornycroft accelerated. Slowly. Chains clattering on frozen road beneath the snow, and hit the drift at maybe 8 miles per hour. The plough cut through. Snow exploded sideways. The lorry kept moving, 10 yards, 20, 30. Then the engine overheated. Radcliffe stopped, checked. The radiator was packed with snow, airflow blocked, engine temperature climbing dangerously. He cleared it by hand, waited for the engine to cool, started again. This pattern repeated 6 times in the first mile. Push through snow, engine overheats, stop, clear radiator, cool down, resume. By 07:15, Radcliffe had cleared 1 mile. 15 to go. At this rate, the job would take days. He needed a different approach. Learning by doing. Radcliffe realised continuous ploughing overheated the engine. The solution, interval ploughing. Drive forward, clear a section, stop the lorry. Let the engine idle and cool while he cleared the radiator, then advance again. It was slower than continuous operation, but it worked. The engine stayed operational. The plough kept pushing snow. By 900 he'd cleared 4 miles. The technique was settling. He learned the snow's behaviour. Fresh powder, easy to push. Wind-packed snow, required speed and momentum. Ice underneath, the chains bit through, but steering was treacherous. He also learned the plough's limitations. The fixed 45-degree angle was too aggressive for some conditions. Snow would pile up in front of the blade instead of sliding off. Radcliffe couldn't adjust it, the mounting was fixed. So he compensated with speed. Faster approach, more kinetic energy, snow thrown farther. By 11:30, 8 miles cleared, halfway to Newark. The Thornycroft was holding up, the chains were intact, the sandbags were shifting but still providing weight. Then the steering linkage broke. The lorry was pushing through a drift when the linkage, stressed by constant jarring, snapped. Steering wheel went loose. The Thornycroft veered right off the road into a ditch. Radcliffe climbed out, assessed. The right front wheel was buried. The lorry was tilted 30 degrees. The plough was jammed into frozen earth. Standard response, abandon vehicle, walk to nearest town, get help, dig it out with manpower. Radcliffe didn't have time for standard responses. He grabbed tools from the lorry's kit, crawled under the vehicle in the snow, in -12 cold, and repaired the steering linkage with wire and a salvaged bolt. 40 minutes later, the repair was done, but the lorry was still stuck. He couldn't dig it out by hand, too much snow, frozen too hard. He tried driving out. The rear wheels spun uselessly. Chains provided some grip, but not enough against the angle and the packed snow. Radcliffe made a decision that was either brilliant or insane. He unloaded the sandbags from the rear bed, placed them under and behind the rear wheels, creating a ramp of sorts, then restarted the engine, engaged low gear, and applied maximum throttle. The Thornycroft's rear wheels clawed at the sandbags. Chains bit. The lorry lurched, moved 6 inches, a foot, 2 feet. Slowly, grudgingly, it climbed back onto the road. Radcliffe reloaded the sandbags, resumed clearing. The clock read 12:45. 40 minutes lost to the breakdown, but the mission continued. The final push. The afternoon brought new challenges. Temperature dropped further. -14 by 1400 hours. The snow stopped falling, but wind increased. Drifts were restructuring. Sections Radcliffe had cleared earlier were filling in again. He pushed on. Newark was close. 10 miles. 8. 6. At 15:20, the petrol supply became critical. The Thornycroft's fuel consumption was terrible. The constant heavy load, the low gear operation, the repeated starting and stopping. Radcliffe hadn't brought extra fuel, hadn't anticipated needing it. The gauge showed maybe 2 gallons remaining, maybe enough to reach Newark, maybe not. He couldn't turn back. 16 miles cleared behind him. The route was open. Turning back meant abandoning the mission with success in sight. Radcliffe continued, conserving fuel where possible, letting momentum carry the lorry through lighter sections, using the engine only when necessary. 16 30 hours, 4 miles from Newark. Fuel gauge reading nearly empty. 17:05 hours, 2 miles from Newark. Engine sputtering. Fuel starvation beginning. 17:40 hours. Radcliffe saw the first buildings of Newark through the winter dusk. The Thornycroft's engine was running on fumes, literally. The carburetor was pulling vapour from the tank. 17:48 hours, the lorry rolled into Newark town centre. The engine died 50 yards from the main square, out of fuel, but mission accomplished. 16 miles of Great North Road cleared, 1 motorised vehicle, 1 driver, 18 hours. The aftermath Radcliffe refuelled the Thornycroft in Newark, made minor repairs, rested 4 hours, then drove back to Grantham on the road he'd cleared. The return journey took 3 hours, the route was open, the snow wasn't accumulating, the lorry could maintain decent speed. Lincolnshire County Council took notice. Other counties heard about it. The concept spread. By late February 1917, 3 more counties had attempted motorised snow clearing. Some used lorries, some used agricultural tractors with improvised ploughs. Results varied. Some succeeded, some failed due to mechanical breakdowns or inadequate modifications. But the principle was proven. A motorised vehicle could clear snow faster and more efficiently than manual labour. Not perfectly, not without problems, but functionally. The approach didn't revolutionise British winter operations immediately. Most counties continued using manual methods through the rest of World War I. Equipment was scarce, expertise was limited. Motorised snow clearing remained experimental, but the seed was planted. The concept existed. When the next major snowfall hit in 1919, more counties tried motorised clearing. By the early 1920s, it was becoming standard practice. By 1947, when Albert Morrison improvised his gritter operation, the idea of using vehicles for snow clearing was conventional wisdom. It started with William Radcliffe and a modified Thornycroft lorry in February 1917. The forgotten pioneer Radcliffe continued working for Lincolnshire County Council until 1929. Retired at age 64, died in 1935 at 70. His contributions to road maintenance were noted in county records. The February 1917 snow clearing operation was mentioned briefly. Experimental motorised clearance, Great North Road, successful. No newspaper coverage, no public recognition, just a county surveyor doing his job. The Thornycroft J-Type he modified was returned to regular goods hauling duties after winter in 1917. It served until 1923, then was scrapped. The improvised plough was removed and melted down. No photographs exist. No technical drawings were preserved. The only record of Britain's first motorised snowplow operation is a 3-line entry in Lincolnshire County Council, minutes from February 1917. Surveyor Radcliffe reports successful mechanical clearance of Great North Road using modified motor lorry. Time, 18 hours. Distance, 16 miles. Recommended for future operations. That's it. The entire documentary evidence of a pioneering achievement, but the idea survived, and spread, and became the foundation of modern winter road operations. Every gritter on British roads today is Radcliffe's descendant. Every motorised plough traces back to that crude V-shaped steel blade welded to a Thornycroft lorry in February 1917. The machines have evolved. The techniques have improved. The technology is unrecognisable. But the core principle, use engines not muscle, came from a 52-year-old county surveyor who looked at 14 inches of snow and thought, there has to be a better way. Standard procedure said wait for manpower, use shovels, clear the road slowly. Radcliffe started the engine and drove into the snow instead. 16 miles, 18 hours, 1 lorry, 1 man. The road got cleared. The supplies moved. The idea took root. That was enough.